everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is Tanya Mullery, and we're coming to you live from Steamworks Center. And today we have Kelly Noble Mirabella, who spoke at I met her when she spoke at a lunch mob at Steamworks Center last year.
That's right.
So that was cool, and I was like, how have we never met before? This is interesting.
All the cups and stuff for when I have to drop my daughter off at school. So
Yes. And so because we want to get our community experts in to really be able to share what they know with everyone, we asked her to come back at a lunch and learn time so that we could really learn about what's going on with chatbots. I've been very impressed watching her and interacting with some of her experiment bots.
Yay.
And I just thought this was a great topic and we all would want to know more. And so welcome, Kelly. Thanks for coming in, and the stage is yours. Okay, we could shake. That was a little odd. But like, here we
much better. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day today to come and geek out with me on one of my favorite topics, which is the chatbot. How many of you have actually heard of chatbots before today? We've got a couple of, we're kind of familiar with them. And anyone actually ever tried to build a chatbot?
You inspired me.
Nice. Yes. So a little bit about myself real quick. My name is Kelly Noble Mirabella. I've been a social media consultant, trainer, and manager for the last 11 years. And I've owned my business, Stellar Media Marketing, for 9 of those years. And really one of my passions is teaching people how to utilize all these wonderful tools out there. So Facebook, Instagram, you name it, I've probably taught a class on it. And of course, we're going to be talking about my favorite topic today, which is chatbots. I started this little chatbot channel. If you want to learn more about chatbots after today, you can check me out on YouTube. I do 80s themed chatbot tutorials. So one of the things that I decided was I really got into chatbots. I wanted to learn everything there is to know about chatbots, and really there was no one out there teaching it other than on YouTube. This is before MiniChat had a free course and Chatfuel had a free course. So of course, like anyone else, I went to YouTube and tried to learn everything I could. Unfortunately, there was a lot of videos out there, but a lot by people who have no video editing skills. Not a bad thing for them, but wonderful for them to share their expertise. But I was finding that I was really, they were really long and drawn out. And like, you told me you were going to teach me this, but we're 20 minutes in, they still don't know how to do it. So I decided it could be more fun and it could be done in a much more concise way. So that's why I started my YouTube channel there. Fun times. So what is a chatbot? The first question I want to ask you is, do you find chatbots to be, would you say, helpful or annoying? Anyone want to chime in real quick? Yeah. Annoying. I actually hear that quite often, so don't be shy about it. In fact, every time I present this, we ask that question. Do you find them annoying or helpful? And I think a lot of it is that when you hear this word chatbot, you think of a bot. Like you go to Twitter and you get these like trolley bots that are just posting stuff that are really rude and mean, and nobody really wants to be a part of that. So you do get a sense for when people don't understand what they are, that they come off as annoying. The really cool thing about chatbots is they've been intertwined in our culture and in our technology for quite some time now. So we were talking earlier about the different phone interfaces, and I have my Android around here. Oh, doing a live broadcast with my Android. Right here. And then some of you have an iPhone. Well, if you have an iPhone, I'm sure you're familiar with a lovely little lady who's living inside your iPhone, and her name is Siri. Although I'm told that you can change her to a lovely Australian male.
That's mine.
Simon. So that is actually a voice-activated chatbot. Then you might have heard of Alexa or Google. I'm not going to say it right now because my phone will trigger, but we're all triggered right now. Yeah, we're all triggered. It'll be like, hey, Kelly, what's up? Those are all voice-activated, sound-activated chatbots. So we've actually been using them for quite some time, and when you start thinking in those terms, you can see how they could be pretty dang helpful. Now, what we're going to talk about today are my favorite kind of chatbots, which are Facebook bots. Yay! Facebook chatbots are messages that you build as a human, or if you are wealthy enough to put together some AI or techie enough, then artificial intelligence can certainly help make your chatbot smarter. but they run through your Facebook business page. They are not ran through profiles. You have to have a business page, and they run through the Messenger platform. So this is my favorite. I am a huge fan because they're incredibly easy and very attainable for anyone to use. It doesn't matter if you know coding or you don't know coding. There are tools out there, which we're going to discuss today, that can help you build a chatbot for your business. I'm also going to give you some examples about how, no matter the size of your business, a chatbot can help you. So there are over 1 billion people using Messenger today. These are active Messenger users. In fact, across the world, Facebook Messenger and Facebook's WhatsApp, which is actually owned by Facebook, fight for the first and second place across the world. In the United States, it is Messenger that wins at the top of the most used messaging apps. So it makes sense for us to think about the fact that this is a powerful platform to reach our audience. And you hear a lot of comparisons between email and Messenger, and will Messenger take over email? And I don't know if it will necessarily take over email. It's a different medium, but it will certainly be another way that we can communicate with people. But let me pose this question to you. If at the same exact time you get pinged, I know a lot of people turn off their notifications, but let's pretend for a second we're living in an alternate universe where your notifications are all on, and you get pinged, and at the same time you get an email, you get a Facebook message. Which one are you most likely to answer first? Facebook message, right? I think most people would say that's the first stop because it's there and it's glaring, and Facebook has trained us to want to get rid of that little red insignia. So yeah, this is the first place we go. So right now, at least, it's incredibly powerful for us to reach these people. So in the United States, can you see this all right in the live? This is the percentage of users that are using Facebook. So if you're wondering how it breaks down by demographic, is it all the teeny boppers? Is it all the Gen Zs? Actually, it's a large, we have a really good spread here of people that are utilizing the Messenger platform and it's growing all the time. I know in the past year, and maybe it's because I'm obsessed with chatbots, but in the past year, I personally have moved a lot more of my communications over here because it's just easier. And Facebook has, made some strides to make it easier for us to organize and such. But you can see the largest demographic utilizing Messenger in the United States is 25 to 34-year-olds, followed by 35 to 44-year-olds, and then 18 to 24-year-olds. And not too far behind 45 to 54-year-olds, and even the 55 to 64% saturation is decent. So we're still seeing a growth on those demographics, but super duper powerful. Big ROI. So I mentioned email versus Facebook Messenger. So let's break that down really quick. Now these stats for email are from Constant Contact. That's the platform that I use. Similarly, across any platform you use for your ESP or internet service provider, you're going to see similar stats. And mind you, every industry is going to have different open rates. But with email, we're seeing open rates across the board, 2018, at about 18%, which seems about right to me, right? You're shaking your head like, as in, it's disbelievable. This is horrid. Or is it all like, I get 50%. So the next one, and I think the most powerful statistic we should all be looking at, open rates are great, but what's an open rate if you're not getting those actions? Are people clicking on the buttons? Are they going to your content? And so that click-through rate is at just under 8% in email. So you think very few people are opening them, and then even less are clicking. Oh, it's just so painful to think, right? So down at the bottom, we have our Messenger bot stats, and it looks like they all made it into the slide. Great. 80% plus open rate is what we're seeing across the board. And as your list grows, obviously your numbers will fluctuate a little bit, but this is pretty much what we're seeing for everyone right now. Now, click-through rates are 20%. I have seen much higher click-through rates, and I have seen slightly lower click-through rates, but this seems to be about the average. So 20% click-through rate comparative to just under 8%, that's a huge difference. So when we're thinking about, gosh, I want to get more people to listen to my podcast, view my YouTube videos, or better yet, buy something, right? Schedule that appointment, then we want the people taking action in more of the 20% click-through rates. Any questions so far on these numbers? It's pretty astounding, actually.
I want to let you know that you do have some live viewers. So
Hi.
Bella is on.
Oh, hi, Bella.
And Phil.
Hi, Phil.
And Harach and Scott Edwards.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us live on the not live, but live version of the presentation. All right, so let's carry on. Now, there are an enormous amount of possibilities that you have with chatbots. Initially, I think a lot of people were coming out and they were saying things like, it's a great way to, and I'm at fault of this as well, it's a great way to tackle those FAQs, frequently asked questions. You know, you can save your sales force or your customer service force from all that extra work they have to do to answer those same questions, come up all the time. And while I agree with that, that is not even really where the power of the chatbot lies. Now, if you are a coffee shop or a location-based place where the same question comes up, where are you located? What is your menu? Those are really simple FAQs that, yes, those will get annoying after a while. So those are very easy to implement into a menu right there. So it pops into your Facebook page, it pops up. You can make that happen. Some other possibilities are engaging with people that are, you know, behind the scenes. One of my favorite use cases is actually overcoming the Facebook algorithm in order to get people to actually look at your stuff. I mean, how many of you have a Facebook business page? Yeah, if you want to do a chatbot, you have to have one. But so a Facebook business pages, we've seen kind of a really sad disappearance of reach and engagement over the past couple years. Now, I have been on the Facebook platform from the get-go, and I've had business, I've worked with businesses on Facebook since before Facebook business pages existed. And I could tell you that back in the good old days, we were seeing a huge, you barely had to do anything to get engagement and reach, and there were no ads, but nobody was doing it. So it was those early adapters. Well, now we're all seeing anywhere between a 1%, if you're lucky, and I have seen pages with up to 20 to 30% reach and engagement using some of the strategies that I've been teaching with both Facebook chatbots, but also Facebook Live, which is really a great tool for your pages. And then, oh gosh, if you put them together, that's where really we see the magic happen. But the point is that 1%, a lot of businesses are all, why are we even doing this? How are we going to get people to get to our website to read our content? How are we going to get people to listen to our podcast? Or, you know, what's the point of making videos and putting them on YouTube if no one's going to find them and what have you? And I know a lot of small businesses have suffered because of this drop in engagement. Well, the magical thing about chatbots, or not so magical, the really attainable thing about chatbots is you can build a chatbot that increases engagement both on your Facebook page, so you can get people to go to that page and engage with that content, but also just skip Facebook altogether in a sense and say, here, let's go look at this, what we have going on here. And just like you can do an email, but possibly even easier, you can segment people immediately. So as soon as they've shown an interest by coming into your chatbot, maybe clicking on a specific topic or clicking into your chatbot via a growth tool, by the way, I'm going to explain what all that means in a minute, you're able to immediately start tagging them so that it's, in email you can do it, but it's a little bit more convoluted. It's a little bit trickier, and it's not as user-friendly, I think, for the common business owner who doesn't have time to be continually learning these new tactics. Whereas in a chatbot, it's just an easy thing, and they start coming through. So if, for instance, I'm building out, I have so many chatbots in my MiniChat account, but if I have a chatbot about chatbots, which I do, and every week I send out an update about what's going on in chatbot land and what my new tutorial is about, well then I am only sending that to the people who have tagged interest in that. And so I know that my open rates and my click-through rates and my actions are way higher for those people than if I were to just send it to everyone on my list. So overall, it's a fantastic way of overstepping that algorithm, and so we don't have to be worried about, you know, the Facebook apocalypse, and just start thinking smart about how can I just, you know, skip it and go right to the source. And I'll give you some examples of that when we get to the case studies. Some other things that we can do that I've seen that are fantastic besides just engagement. You can deliver coupons, you can have loyalty programs, you can set calendar dates. I just did that the other day for an event that I did where people can, they can sign up for, say, a webinar, and then they can set, the whole thing is seamless right inside the chatbot. So they can sign up for the webinar. If there's a pay feature, they can pay for the session. They can have a button where it adds it to their calendar. So everything is seamless. It's right inside of Messenger. They don't really have to go to all these different places. One of my good friends, Andrew and Pete, who's going to be an example I'm going to share, they're out of the UK. They are fantastic content marketers, just top of the line content marketers, hilarious too. And they actually use their chatbot to convert people into their paid membership program. And it all starts with a little button on their website that pops up the messenger, and then it actually takes the lead, if you will, or the traffic, and starts converting them and asking questions and really qualifying them into the membership. So they've seen a lot of success with that as well. You're only limited by your imagination. That's the thing I love about these. I consider myself kind of a creative gal, even though I have very little skill in drawing or painting. But when it comes to chatbots, it's really a thing where, what do you need done? That's what we really want to think about, is what is the end goal? What are we trying to accomplish? Is it, I have this podcast and I want to get more listeners? Well, then we can build a chatbot for that. Is it, I have this event and I want to get more people in? And something that's really interesting about how this process can work with chatbots outside of a regular event, for instance, is that every time someone has to take another step, whether it's an event or a sales page, every time you add kind of another step, I have to click here to go here. I have to click here to go to this website or this page. What that is creating friction. And every time you do that, it's another chance for me to say, oh, I've got something else to do, So what we really want to do is create a seamless experience, and chatbots allow us to do that because we can put everything in there. We could put the sign up, we could put payments, we could put reminders, and all of that is seamless. So there's no friction. It's just a seamless experience overall. All right, so let's talk about where you can start. The wonderful thing about starting is it's actually very easy. I've mentioned that I have a YouTube channel where I've been teaching people, and it's really a matter of thinking about, what do you want to accomplish? Sometimes the easiest thing to start with in the chatbot world is a welcome message, just a, hey, thanks for visiting, here's a couple of quick links that you might find interesting. Maybe it's a link to your website with your services, maybe it's directions to your location, those FAQs that we were talking about. So where to start is that welcome message, maybe a pop-up menu that can come up on your Facebook page that you can turn on right away, right now, today, without any tools, right in the back end of Facebook. So let's talk about some tools. Lots of great tools. I apologize for the cutoff. We had to do some transferring of slides, but that does say, instead of hatbot building, it says chatbot building. So these are the top 3 that you're probably seeing out there. Now, there are a great number of tools, both free and paid. The top 2 that you're seeing, number 1 being MiniChat. I put that at number 1 because it's my favorite. It's the one I use. And then number 2 being ChatFuel. These are the showrunners. These are the big boys in the lights. They've been around the longest, and they have the most support, the best tech behind them. MiniChat actually just hosted their 2018 Conversations convention. Sadly, I missed it. But they released, I believe, 16 new features to the platform. I've already done tutorials on 3 of them, and they are amazing. Stuff like automatic integration with MailChimp, which means you can collect emails. Again, that seamless experience. We can collect emails and put them right into our emails, our ESP, email service provider, like MailChimp. There's also one where you can take data, so maybe you're doing a quiz or a survey, or you just want to get people's information for whatever reason, and you can immediately, instantly put it into Google Sheets. So then you can add it to your CRM, or you can do some Facebook targeting with your ads, which is really excellent. And let me tell you, there is no better audience that you can build in the Facebook ad platform than a custom audience and a lookalike audience based off of chatbot people, because these people are engaged. These are raving fans in here. And then native. Now, I don't know about you, I do not know Python very well. Python is a code language. I'm told it's very easy. I have a neighbor who's been telling me he'll teach me one day when I have time. I have so much time. Not. But you can actually build your own chatbot natively, and this is where really you see those highly customizable chatbots that you might see really big businesses that have money to put behind it and they're using AI, they are definitely natively coding those features. So if you're thinking you want to build the big papa of all chatbots, and it's basically the Google chatbot where everyone thinks you're a human, a note on that in a minute, then you're going to probably want to learn some coding, or you're going to want to have some good funding. MiniChat and ChatFuel can do some really epic things, and there's a lot you can do, and it's super affordable. In fact, both of them have free options, and MiniChat is the one I use. I pay $10 a month right now for my MiniChat. It's phenomenal. All right, I mentioned there's a little note. California, welcome to our state, right? California just passed a law that states that you need to make sure that you are identifying your bot as a bot and not as a human. So don't go try tricking people. Now for me, this comes at no surprise and really no sweat, because I already named my chatbot. My chatbot is named MikaBot after my dog. She's my chat dog assistant. And that is one of the very first things when you come into my chatbot for the first time. My welcome message is actually MikaBot welcoming you. And I have funny little things where I try to bring a lot of personality to my chatbot, which I would highly recommend everyone do, because no one really wants to talk to a robot. But so if you're like, hey, I'm a robot, and then you're all, I can help you, not super fun. But if you're all, hey, I'm a chat dog assistant, and if you want me to go fetch Kelly, I'll drag her away from whatever kid has grips on her leg right now, and she'll come over and help you. That's kind of the language I use in my chatbot. So bring some personality. One of the things that I've had a lot of feedback on when I do, I'm kind of known for quizzes and games in my chatbot, is people love the fact that they know they're talking to a chatbot, but they also know I built it because of my personality shines through. So don't be afraid to have fun with those chatbots. But keep in mind that if you have a bot in the state of California, it doesn't even have to be built here, everyone. You could be over in the UK, and if someone in California is utilizing that chatbot or that bot, and I'll clarify that in a second, then you need to make sure that it's clear. Now, bot, chatbot. Chatbot, what in the context that we're talking about, is just like Facebook Messenger. We just want to make it clear, hey, this is a robot, this is my chatbot assistant. Her name is Cindy. She's here to help you. She brings flowers, whatever you want to call it. I know some friends of mine who call theirs Jarvis. He's a very nice gentleman robot. But then a bot, even if you're on Twitter, you know, there's a lot of bots on Twitter, you have to be crystal clear that, and so the bots, I guess, are now putting it in their profile. I am a bot, I'm not a human, I'm interacting as a bot, so it becomes very, very clear. So that's the idea that it's not just chatbots, it's all bots in general.
You have Natalia, Emily Ridgway says hi, and Stacy McLaughlin. And yep.
Hello, hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to the party. So these are some wonderful tools. I know there's a lot of other tools. When I started, I used a tool, gosh, what was it called? I don't even remember the name, but I remember the first time I saw a chatbot, I was in the Facebook feed and there was an ad that said, comment below and we'll show you how this magical thing works. We'll send you a message immediately. And I thought, there's no way that that could happen. And then I did, and they sent me a message. And of course, this was 2 years ago. I'm like, oh no, I must have this. This is mine. And I went, of course, and bought the lifetime access that I don't use anymore because now I'm using MiniChat. But so is life of a marketer.
Rob Ansbach says, this is Rob's bot, and Rob says hi.
Oh, hi.
He's playing along.
Hi, Rob's bot.
Based in California.
When I sign off, so the nice thing about MiniChat, and even Chatfuel, I believe, you can jump in and manage all of your messages. So at any time someone wants to talk to a human or has a special comment and you know it's for you, the human, you can jump in there and pause the bot, if you will, and have those conversations. And I do that a lot, and I will sign off on mine as Kelly, and then parentheses, not a bot, and people love that for some reason. They get a kick out of their talking to a real human. All right, so the rules. Yes, we have rules. Just like the rules of email marketing, we have rules around messaging. So the first rule is honor unsubscribes. When you sign up for MiniChat, for instance, they already have it built in. You cannot turn this feature off. The built-in is if they type stop or unsubscribe, you're immediately taken off the list. I can't send you messages anymore. The thing I like to say honors unsubscribes. I also think, and this goes down to number 3, GDPR. It's really important that if your chatbot is engaging with people in a GDPR, or even in Canada, where they have the Canadian anti-spam legislation, it's like a mouthful. My Canadian friend would just laugh at me right now. But you need to make sure that you have a very easy way to opt out. So every time I send a message, I do a little action button at the bottom that says unsubscribe every time. And they can click on that and leave me, and I'm fine with it. We all, as businesses and marketers, we need to be okay with the unsubscribe, because really, we don't need those people on our list. They're not interested, so why waste that energy? Another key point here is that you cannot just message people on your Facebook page. Just because they're fans doesn't make them subscribers. In order for them to become a subscriber, they need to engage with your messenger in some way. So they send you a message, or we'll talk about growth tools in a minute. They can click on a special link or a button, and that brings them in. Then they become a subscriber. So unlike email, where people can very easily abuse the process, we can actually take these people and leave them alone. In other words, we're not going to upset them. So at the beginning, I asked, is it an annoying thing? It doesn't have to be an annoying thing, because we need to be honoring those unsubscribes. We can't just send those messages to anyone. Okay, the 24+1 rule. Now this is one I have done a video on, so if I do not explain it clearly now, feel free to check out the video over on my YouTube. Is there a question? I felt like you paused for a second.
But Rob did say he laughed.
Oh.
And Sharon Brubaker just joined us.
Hi, Sharon. Oh, over here. Hi, Sharon. So many cameras. Okay, so the 24+1 rule is basically all around promotions. Now, I know that we all want to use our chatbot to make some money, right? We want to, that's kind of the point of business, make money in the end. And with the 24+1 rule, as soon as someone engages with your chatbot or your messenger, that's when, as soon as they become a subscriber, you have 24 hours to send them a promotion. The clock starts, the timer starts, and it's ticking away. Once that 24 hours is done, if they have not engaged with you again, then you have one more opportunity. Otherwise, you have to pay for that message to go to those people. Now, there's a catch here. These are only for promotional messages. So if you were just sending out a message that has nothing to do with promotions, it's just a purely informational, or they subscribe to a specific type of informational message, you can send those at any time, as long as there's no monetary catch to it. It's when you have the monetary, when you have a promotion, when you have something that you're selling, they have to engage with it. The nice thing is, as soon as someone engages again with your bot in any way, the clock starts over. So one way that you could get around this is sending out, let's say I'm selling cookies. I don't know, I like cookies. I want to sell cookies to my crowd, and like buy some cookies for Christmas for your people. And I can't just send a message saying, hey, cookies are for sale, because that is a promotion. But I could say something like, what's your favorite kind of cookie? Is it, vote for your favorite cookie. Is it chocolate chip, or is it oatmeal raisin? I don't know. And so as soon as they click on that again, I mean, I know the answer. It's obviously chocolate chip. But it would have been funnier there if I was like, obviously oatmeal raisin. I know there's someone out there. Oatmeal raisin's the best. Excuse me.
It's satisfactory.
If there's no chocolate chips around.
That's right.
Okay, so they then click on a button, they're immediately back into that rotation. You can immediately send a promotion saying, by the way, we have the sale on cookies. You can get these awesome chocolate chips, or for those of you quirky people, here's a basket of oatmeal raisin. So that's how you can get around that. Okay, so the GDPR is a law that's based out in the UK, which makes it, there's so many rules around it, and I am by no means an expert on this, but in the world of chatbots, we've already talked about the unsubscribe, so make sure you have that unsubscribe. You have to add that each time. Make it clear that it's easy to unsubscribe when they first come into your chatbot. Your welcome message usually can add that. The other thing is, once they unsubscribe, you have to be able to completely remove them from the database. MiniChat, I know, makes that really easy. They do that for you. It clears them out completely. You can also go in and manually remove them completely. So that's a really nice thing. Now, if you're bringing them through to other things like your Google Docs, your Google Sheets, like I mentioned before, or an email service provider, you're going to need to remove them from that as well. So just be aware of the laws of the land, I guess, is the best course of action. I should add that new law as one of the rules that we talk about, the California bot law. Now, what you can't see is that says what to do right now today. So if chatbots seem of interest to you, and we're going to give you a couple of examples here in a little bit, then the very first thing that you'll want to do is go sign up for, my suggestion would be a MiniChat account. I find MiniChat to be incredibly easy. I'm a very visual person, so if you're visual, they have this wonderful tool called the Visual Builder, where you can actually see how the messages will flow in one big thing, which I think is fabulous. It just, you can visually see how it's going to work. It's a choose your own adventure, if you will. Anybody read Choose Your Own Adventure as a kid? Like obsessed. You can have like one book that lasted you a while. You just keep changing it up. So that's what a chatbot is. It's just a choose your own adventure. So go set up your MiniChat account. I have YouTube videos showing you how to do that. Very simple. And then just add a welcome message. You know, hello, this is what we're about. You can unsubscribe at any time. And then, you know, maybe a couple links to some key places for them to check out. And if you want to see an example of a welcome message, just go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/stellar247, and you can pop into mine over there.
Where would you be linking that? How would they get into if they went to your page?
Excellent question. We are actually about to talk about that right now. How do you get people?
That was not a setup.
That was crazy. She had no idea.
I'm psychic. And Tony and Leslie have joined.
Hey, Tony! Is that Tony? Lack of yellow. It's lack of yellow, isn't it, Tony?
I think so.
I love Tony.
I think so.
He's in Canada. I love him. Okay, so growth tools. Now, there are a great number of growth tools inside of MiniChat. I believe ChatFuel, pretty much all the tools have growth tools. I'm going to go through the MiniChat ones because those are the ones that I use. Just to give you kind of a quick overview of what is possible, and then I'll talk more specifically about the ones that I think are the most powerful. So starting from the top, we have our overlay widgets. These are all things that you put on your website. So we have here at the top, we have a bar, which would just slide in. If you've ever gone to a website and you have like a little opt-in bar, that's exactly what that is. These are all kind of those opt-ins. This is a slide in, it just kind of slides up. This one pops into the middle, and this takes over the entire page when they come to your website.
Which do you recommend or like?
I don't use any of those. What? No, I don't. I'll tell you, as we go down, I'll tell you which ones I think are the ones I love the most. So
I do have the bar on the steamwork.center.
I would say the bar out of those is probably my favorite. I like a less invasive pop-up, if you will. People don't tend to like pop-ups, and I kind of follow the golden rule in life and in marketing, and I think they're annoying, so I try to keep it minimal, and so that's the one I would go with. If I were doing like a special e-course or event or something, that's how I would do it.
Well, it's nice it also stays static. So
yeah, it doesn't like, get in the way.
It doesn't get in the way, but it remains there, so people can always get home.
I agree. That's a good feature as far as the widgets go. I actually use this customer chat one, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is also a website feature.
Cool.
Okay, so next up are your embeddable widgets. These are things you can actually embed into your website or into a blog. These are great if you do guest blogging, if you're kind of on another page, or you don't really have a whole lot of back-end control and you just want to put a little snippet of code. So you can do those. There's a button and there's a box. I don't use either of those right now, but I have seen them done pretty well. Now we're going to go into the others, and this is really where I think these are the most powerful and easiest to use. You can actually create a landing page, and it's a really simple landing page. This is great if you have like a webinar or an event or something, you just want to pop them in. The URL is the Messenger Ref URL. That is by far my favorite tool. I love this tool. It's amazing. This is the one I get a lot of my my consulting clients to use, my students, because it transfers over so well. Most people are going to tell you go with the Facebook comments. So Facebook comments, and I'll pop back and explain this in a minute, but I want to explain this first. The Facebook comments is you might have seen it. I mentioned it earlier as the first chatbot I ever experienced. If you comment on a specific post where they have this set up, and you will immediately get a message back. That's what the Facebook comments. The catch with Facebook comments is that if that post is shared, say it's shared by a friend, or maybe you share it into a group or on your own profile, you lose that magic. It won't matter how many times they post on it outside. They have to go to the original post for it to work. So how do you have a shareability of your posting on Facebook but still capture people into your chatbot? That's where the ref URL comes in. So when I do like a Facebook Live, for instance, I may have a comment. It's very likely I'll have some kind of Facebook comment tool on there, but I am also going to make sure that that ref URL points to the same place in my description, so that if it is shared, and I would even say that as a call to action in my Facebook Live. I'll say, hey, make sure to tell me what's your favorite social network down below. And by the way, you can also, if it's not working, you can pop up and click on that link in the description. So call to actions are pretty useful. The other thing about Facebook comments is you have to be explicit in the fact that it's going to open, in fact, with every one of these, that it's going to open in Messenger. So if you are doing like a Facebook Live, or you just have a post on your Facebook page and you just say something like comment, or you don't even say anything about comments. Or they just comment, not immediately they're sending message. Or you might say, you know, vote A or B, but you don't say anything about you're going to send a message. So they start voting A, and all of a sudden their messenger pops up. You need to be explicit. So I would say vote A or B, and I'll shoot you a message to let you know if you're right, or something like that. Or if I'm live on Facebook, I'll say, hey, if you want to get this special guide that I have, go ahead and post below, and I will shoot you a message right away with that information. So I'm very explicit in the way I present that. And it's the same with the URL. If I have the URL, I'll post it in like a post on Facebook or anywhere. These things can work off Facebook. That's the nice thing about the URLs. I could be on LinkedIn, I could be over in Twitter, and I'll just put in the little parentheses, opens up in Messenger, and I might have a little emoji, because I like emojis. Emojis are the bomb. Facebook adds JSON. A JSON is a type of language, like a code language that speaks from MiniChat to the ad platform. And it allows you to create all kinds of really fantastic Facebook ads that drive people right into your Messenger. So there's a lot of great use cases. So if you're going to do an ad, that's what you're going to want to look at. Fun fact, you don't have to know coding in order to do that. MiniChat creates the code for you, and I actually have a video on how to do that as well. Messenger codes. Now you might have seen at the very beginning, and why not? Let's just go back.
Yes.
So you can actually have a visual. All right, so that is a Messenger code. Now it used to be that you can get these, you wouldn't have to have like a MiniChat or a chat tool. You could just go to your back end of your Facebook page and grab these. You cannot do that anymore. Don't ask me why. Facebook is funky like that. They like to change things up and keep us interested and on our toes, but this is what it is. And basically how it works, and this is actually my networking bot. So if you grabbed your phone, and I keep looking for my phone, you're right there. You can actually, if you have the Facebook Messenger app or just your Facebook app on your phone, you would click into Messenger, and then I'm trying to do this from memory, and then you click into your profile picture, and then click on your picture, and it'll allow you to scan it. I wish they'd make it a little easier, but I've actually done that tutorial right there with people. I don't carry business cards a whole lot anymore. I have some today, but usually I just have people scan this, and then it'll pop up a whole, hey, look at you. All right, so click on your face. Yeah, so my code, go to scan code. Yep, and then you can just hold it up, and you'll experience the magic of my networking chatbot. It'll be fun. I'll leave it up for a second if you want to grab it.
So you far.
Oh, I have to keep it. Because you're so far away.
I feel like karaoke right now.
Yeah.
Because you're so
good. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. There's at the end, I'll tell you the whole story of how I got into 80s themed chatbots. I'm kind of known as someone who likes to just sing out of the blue. So.
Well, you can sing to Jeff, who's joined us.
Hi, Jeff.
Kudinski.
Hi. Jeff actually is a killer chatbot builder himself, but he does it with like dynamic content and coding and like to really do some fancy stuff. Like, everyone's trying to scam the code right now. I will have other ways to get into the chatbot at the end, so you don't have to worry about that one. But all right, let's scoop back this.
Here's my code apparently.
Yeah, and then you have your code, and everyone has a code, but your business pages don't have those codes anymore unless you build them out in a third-party tool like this. And the cool thing is each one of these can go to a specific chatbot flow. So I can have one that I built, and I can have one for an event that I'm doing. I can have one for people who are interested in learning more about chatbots, or I have so many guides. I build guides for fun on the weekend. So I have like a Facebook business page guide, which by the way, I'll give you all access to at the end. And I have a hiring your first social media manager guide and like so many guides. So each one of these can lead into those specific things. And FYI, as we talked about before, then we can segment them and the magic begins, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we have there's our code, Facebook Messenger code. And then our checkbox is if they're on a landing page on your website for maybe an event or to opt into whatever you got going on, you can add this little checkbox here. So it's basically saying not only will they want that information coming to their email, but go ahead and add me in the chatbot as well. So that's what that is. If you see the blue Pro, it is for Pro account. So everything without that you can use without the Pro account. Otherwise, it's $10 a month to start. And then one of my favorites is the customer chat. Now you asked me above which one I liked. Mm-hmm. I like the customer chat. Okay. So this is a button, a little dot. If you go to my website, stellarmediamarketing.com, or for short, stellar247.com, this pops up. And it's just this little thing in the corner. And mine is actually a call to action about chatbots, because that's what I'm doing right now. And it'll say, are you interested in chatbots? It opens right up. Now, most people are already logged into Facebook 24/7. Unless you're my dad or something who's very anti-Facebook. So it's going to open right into the to the website. It won't take them out to Facebook because it's already kind of logged in, or it will ask them to log in. So it's not like they have to go anywhere. It stays on the website. So it's a really inexpensive way of having an on-site chat assistant on your website. Now I'm going to show you some success stories next, and some of my good friends actually use this, and that's how they're making money and getting people to convert into their membership program with that. So it's a really great feature to have on your website. And you can, by the way, choose which pages on your website or to show them on all pages. So let's talk about some success stories. All right, so you see I started singing there. You go, watch out, don't get me started. So this is my friend Beth. She's one of my students that watches my videos, and I've been talking. Beth is an amazing, unique presenter. For those of you who don't know, that's a network marketing company that does makeup and skincare, and she's my presenter. I buy stuff from her all the time. I basically keep her in business. But she is phenomenal with social media overall, and I've been bugging her forever. Beth, you need a chatbot. You will kill with the chatbot. So finally, one day she said, okay, I'm gonna go watch some videos. So she watched some of my videos and she set up her first chatbot. She said she took 30 minutes to set up her growth tool. It was tied to a Facebook Live that she did, and she made in 2 days 13 new subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but really what the magic was is in less than 2 days she made over $400 as a unique presenter. So if you think of like each product that she sells is less than $20, she made a killing in 2 days. And the only thing she did different took her 30 minutes to set up a growth tool. So it's not overly complicated, and she kept putting it off because she was intimidated. She went, I don't have time to learn this. And she said that once she figured it out, I mean, she's in my Facebook group all the time, telling all her friends like, oh no, let's sit down. It'll take 30 minutes. I can get you to do it. So she is a perfect case study on someone who was very intimidated by the tech and then decided, okay, I'm gonna watch a couple of videos. I'm gonna dive in. Let's just try it out. And in 2 days, she made $400. And that was with her first chatbot. And now she's telling me she's like addicted. And I see her using them all the time. And I'm basically falling in love with her chatbot. And her chatbot and I are totally having an affair. Don't tell my husband. I'm in love with her.
Your husband just joined. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, Jeff. Whatever. He's home with my 2-year-old. He's so busy right now. He doesn't have time to watch Facebook Live. He knows I'm obsessed with chatbots too. So. All right, so these are my boys, Andrew and Pete. These guys are quirky and they're fun, and they're actually my content marketing coaches. I've hired them to help me get my quirky fun out. If you watch my videos, you'll know what I mean. So they are using chatbots in so many ways, it's hard to even nail it down. But one of the big things for them, one of their big goals, actually 2 big goals. Number 1 is to get people to watch their videos. So this is just a snippet of a video or a chatbot message they sent me. And as you can see, I wish I had a little pointer, but at the bottom here, see how it says watch video or share? This is all within Facebook Messenger. So if I click on watch video, it will take me to a YouTube, but it can also take you to a Facebook Live or a recorded Facebook video, wherever you want them to go. And then you just create kind of this picture. And then if you click on that share button, it allows you to share with people within the messenger. So if I'm like, oh my gosh, my friend Kathy would love this video, I'm gonna click on share and send it over to Kathy. So it's really got this nice kind of virility to it. And then you can see it's very customizable. Every message is, hey Kelly. If my name's Cindy, it would say, hey Cindy. If my name's Bob, it's gonna say, hey Bob. And it also has a fallback. So for some reason, if they don't have a first name, which is weird, because how would you be on Facebook without a name? You could do a fallback like, hey there, friend. My fallback is always, hey there, rock stars, because that's how I do in my videos. What's up, rock stars? So you can have these really great messages. And what they're doing is they're getting more views on their YouTube videos. They're getting more listens on their podcasts. Their main focus is the videos and the views. But then they have, and I didn't bring an example, but they have this convert to leads. So they have this membership program called Atomic. It's phenomenal. And it's only like $49 a month or something like that. And so on their website, they have the chat bubble that I mentioned. It just says something like, are you an entrepreneur? And then it'll pop in and just ask a couple of qualifying questions. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a solopreneur? Do you work on a team? And they'll just go through these really simple questions that would put them into the ideal member, if you will. And then they'll try to convert them. Well, if it doesn't convert right away, they'll start asking why. And the chatbot will actually go through, and people are going through this process. You can actually see it in real time. It's pretty magical. They've given me access to their back end too, because I build chatbots for them sometimes. So I get to watch the magic. And they are converting people. And one of my favorite things that they did that I think everyone could get from is if someone doesn't convert right away, they'll ask, is it time, is it money? And they have content to kind of fight back on each one of those sales conflicts. And then they'll say something like, how about this? We're gonna give you a free month. Check it out, see what it's like, what do you say? And most people are like, heck yeah, I'll take a free month, after this whole process. So if someone's already gone through the chatbot at that point, they're not saying no to a free month or 50% off or whatever it is, a coupon. So it's been a really great way to get people in. And their content inside of the membership is so amazing that most people stick around and pay. So that's just a really great example. They do so many things with chatbots, it's bananas. Mm-hmm. All right, so who's in? Who's gonna build a chatbot? Yes, that's what I love to see. Yeah. I love it. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here, but then we're gonna have a little open discussion and maybe brainstorm some ideas if we have time. Mm-hmm. I know I present pretty quick, so. You're good. Okay, so here's a couple things for you. If you wanted to check out my chatbot for yourself, you could just go right over here to that code that I showed you. This is gonna take you to the same place. So it's stellar247.media/hello. Hello, is anybody? Okay. and it does open in Messenger, so you're very clear. Mm-hmm. Or you can text the message. This is actually separate. This will take you to a separate place. Text the message 2282 Stellar at 22828, and that is through Constant Contact, and I will immediately send you an email that has some goodies. Some of the goodies include a link to my YouTube channel where you can learn more about chatbots. You can get my free guide on how to use Facebook as a small business. I have a Hire Your First Social Media Manager guide in there, and I cannot for the life of me think of what, and a link to my Facebook group, Baby Got Bot. Right.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Why is this not named Baby Got Bot? That's a great. So the first time I did this presentation was with my girlfriend she's my Canadian counterpart, and she's not into the 80s. That's not her branding. So, I mean, she likes the 80s, but it's not her branding. So we decided to go. We're gonna do 80s themed classes from now on forever.
Okay, so real quick while you form your questions, and those of you on Facebook Live, please post questions now. I'll tell you the story of how I became obsessed with the 80s theme. So I've mentioned I've been doing the chatbot thing for a while, And before I started doing videos, I would get on and do Facebook Lives and do a lot of guest podcasting, and I'd be on a lot of shows. And people would have me on their shows, and for some reason, I always break out and sing. Like I'll hear a phrase, and all of a sudden 80s music starts playing in my head. And so I'll start singing. And then I started building chatbots. And as I was building chatbots, for some reason 80s and 90s music would always be playing in the back of my head. So I thought, oh gosh, we must make this something. And I did. And there's actually some hilarious gifs out there of me singing and dancing to When I Think of Chatbots. Okay, I'll stop. Oh. But no, we have a lot of fun in the Baby Got That group for sure. But if it's an 80s song, I'd probably parodied it. What's the word there? Parody? If you parodied it, yeah. We actually had a contest. I was on a show for quite some time. We're on hiatus right now, where we had guests on, and we made them compete against us on who can reinvent popular songs into social media themed songs.
So good.
Yeah. So we did pretty much all the Disney songs you can imagine. We were 80s babies. So okay. So let's answer some questions. Brainstorming ideas. Tell me about your business, and we can come up with some ideas. Yeah.
Question: is there any tool to measure, like there might be, I don't know, analytics of these bots?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're using a tool like MiniChat or Chatfuel, it's already built into their backend. So you can see the open rates, and yeah, I'm not on my computer, otherwise I would jump into my account. But you can definitely see, like, if people are opening it, if they're clicking, what they're clicking on. You can segment them based on where in the flow that they are at and clicking, or even where they stop. You can see all of that, and you can also go into your audience and see where your audience is from and how they came to be in your chatbot and that sort of thing.
And it can also give some more details, like the email ID or things
Okay,
like that.
so it's not automatic with the email. So you have to have some kind of functionality in there where you ask. But here's the fun thing about this, is I will pop a question and I'll say, you know, maybe I have a guide that I want to send them. I say, hey, do you mind if I shoot this over to your email? It's a large file. I don't know, make up something. You can totally send it to Messenger. But sometimes people want it in the email too. So I say, would you also like a copy in the email? Or would you also like a confirmation in your email? Or I did a survey recently where I asked people for their email address, asked them if they want to subscribe. Anyway, so you could do this thing called a user input, where you ask the question, you tell ManyChat you're asking for an email address or a phone number, or what have you, and Facebook will automatically show that person the email address that they use to create their account, and all they have to do is click it to confirm. So it makes it so easy, plus you know you're getting a good email address. So usually when I ask that question, I'll say something like, please click the email address below to confirm that's the one you want to use, or type down below, and that's how you grab that data.
Thank you.
So it sounds like this could go on forever.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
experienced some
Totally.
of your bots, and so the depth of your content is
Yeah.
pretty amazing. So when you're approaching a new project, how do you map it all out? Do you use the visual builder, or do you use Post-its,
Yeah.
diagrams, and things
So
first?
initially, before the visual builder came out, there were all these tools, these secondary tools that weren't even bot builders. They were just flow tools. And you might have used them just as a way to, like, I don't know what they call it, but when you're brain dumping, you know, Google has
Mind
a tool.
mapping,
Yeah,
like
mind
flow
mapping and
charts.
stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would use those tools, but then what I found was I would build it all out, and then I would have to rebuild it all out in the thing. So once the visual builder came out, I just start there. What I will do when I'm trying to just brainstorm is people always are amazed when I tell them this, because I've been in digital marketing for so long, but I have a sketchbook, and I'll just sketch out and write out a whole bunch of ideas and start kind of mapping out, not so much with squares and stuff like this question, but more of what am I trying to accomplish? And then I tend to be really verbose. That's wordy. Yeah. My dad was one of those guys who sent out emails every day with a new vocab word, so a plethora of vocab for you.
But it's too bad your name isn't Diana. You'd be Wordy Diana.
Oh, look at you!
So I get a free bot.
I need, like, glitter. Okay, so I would, you know, like, sketch it out, and I still do that if it's a large chatbot. But I find, and I think you have to find what works best for you. I find that the visual builder has everything I need, and I'll just start laying it out and then kind of reconfiguring it, and then I'll test it. And then I have a Facebook group where it's completely dedicated to people who just want to test each other's bots. And a lot of it too is just getting in there and doing it, honestly. Like when I started, I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I watched a lot of YouTube videos. So, and thank goodness you don't have to watch some of the YouTube videos I had to watch. The thing is, it's not that they were bad, it was just they're really, really long and boring. And I think that a lot of people who initially started out were very tech people, so to explain the tech in a way that normal business folk can understand, including myself, is difficult, I think. So if you're looking for something else, come see me.
So under the visual tools, can you also do custom coding in there?
You can. They just rolled out a new feature, dynamic content. They've rolled out so many features, it's ridiculous. So there's a lot of third parties that can tie into your chatbot. So things like Zapier, which is kind of an app that speaks to other apps. So you can create these experiences with dynamic content, which is like your coding. Digibot is an AI, an artificial intelligence that you can tie into MiniChat now. Zapier being the third party can tie to pretty much any CRM you have, any database, so many different tools. So if you really want to get to the next, I didn't want to go too far here because this can scare people. You don't have to do any of this, but if you want to, you can go bananas. You can really go next level, and it could be a completely seamless experience where you're selling things and converting people. I mean, I saw a chatbot the other day that it was a pizza shop where they were able to people were able to order pizzas and have it delivered and pay for it and everything. And that's actually a simple concept, but the back end of that can be a little bit more complicated. So sometimes the simple ideas have the most complicated chatbots, but sometimes the most powerful chatbots are the simplest chatbots. So.
Did you ever have a chatbot fail, like just a big flame out?
All the time.
You get to dead end? Or...
Yeah, I'm like, here's the thing is when I started building, I know a couple of my building partners in crime have also done this, and a lot of people get started. It can be kind of addicting because it's fun. Once you learn how to do it, you're like, this isn't so hard, now I'm gonna build everything. And so you tend to build these really complicated, visually gorgeous, if you're a nerd like me, where you're just like, wow, this is epic. It's such a huge flow, and there's so many things that they can do. And then what you realize is people aren't actually going through it because you're asking too much of people. They're like, whoa, that's a lot of questions, yo. Can we bring it back? So then you have to kind of start editing yourself. And really, again, it comes back to, it's fun to build bots, but it comes back to the end user. Is it useful? Is it user-friendly? And so that's why testing is so important. And then just building a lot of stuff and seeing what sticks. Isn't a bad thing when you're getting started. You should see the back end of my MiniChat. I really need to go in there and clean it out.
If you clean out sections, does that impacts your analytics for each section, or how does that work?
No, each chatbot will have its own kind of analytics tied to it. So each, you can have several different chatbots going. Like I said, sometimes I have games, sometimes it's my networking chatbot, sometimes it's a, right now I have a survey that you can go through and see how the survey works. Most of my chatbots in my account are specifically created for my videos so I can show people. But for my clients, it's less cluttered for sure. Because we go in and I'll be like, okay, I know exactly what they want. They've told me this is kind of what I'm thinking. And I'll say, okay, let's build something. So I'll build them, like I have a real estate client and they have a house that is coming to the market. So we'll do a preview where on their Facebook page, I'll post a photo and say, click this link or comment if you want something, if you want in, and I'll show you the preview, the sneak peek. Mind you, for those of you watching online, it depends on your MLS if you're going to do that, if that's legal. It's legal where he's living in Colorado. Okay. So they go through and he can actually start kind of asking people, here's the house, by the way, here's the preview, you can look at, here's the main level, here's the kitchens, and we can have, a contact the agent set up. And the cool thing is you can have it where they click the call button and it opens the phone and they just, nice. It also has a tie-in to Google Maps if you want. You can do it mapped right there and they get directions. So there's a lot of cool features that we built in. For real estate agents, there's so many use cases that you can do. And I think any business can really come up with uses for it. It's just kind of thinking outside the box. For instance, if you're like a coffee shop